Hi guys, welcome to the Radio Shop Pickups channel. Hope you enjoyed that little clip there where I showed off the sounds from the ID Evolution Strat set, a set that we're going to talk about at length in this video today. It's one of the most underrated pickup sets that we do. Not sure why. Well, there could be reasons why. We're going to talk about why we designed it, the genesis of the set, and we'll also hear a little bit of playing from me a little bit later where I put it up against a guitar in the kind of application I thought it was intended for. So yeah, the ID Evolution Strat set's been around for a while, quite a few years, and it's never really been a huge hit with you guys. It's never hit in the same way as our ID Chris Buck set or our ID 63 GT set. So what is the set? And why did we actually design it? Now, the ID Evos are basically a response to the hot pickups question. And this is something that I think comes up for every pickup maker, which is, it's very popular to offer a Strat set, which is a little bit hotter, really to try and keep up with humbuckers, or maybe somebody's using a humbucking guitar on stage, a Les Paul, and the Strat, they go from one to the other, there's a volume drop off and they're not very happy with that. So we're trying to actually keep up with a Les Paul, really. Generally, the way that most pickup makers offer a hot pickup is by taking a Strat pickup and putting more copper winds on there, increasing the output in that way, which is fine. But there is a massive effect from this, which is you get a much darker sounding Strat pickup. So it's not as Stratty as a lot of people would like. With pickup making, and now this is going to get a little bit geeky basically, you are always playing off the relationship between the magnetic response of the pickup and the amount of copper winds. And there's a lot of play that you can do here and a lot of experimentation. Let's treat a Strat pickup as if it's got 8,000 winds of copper, which is very traditional, and it's Alnico 5 magnets. So let's say that we've got a magnetic response here and you've got your copper winds here. Now you can, and this is what a lot of pickup makers do, you can increase the output in terms of the amount of winds on there, the amount of copper on there, and you get more output, but you get a darker tone. Conversely, you can actually creep down the winds for less output and you get more trebles and more treble response. So there's always this relationship there. And for me, not to be disparaging about other pickup makers, but I think it's kind of a little bit lazy to actually just slap a bit more copper on there. Yeah, we get a darker pickup, but we get more output, so great. That's not what I wanted to do with this set. So my thinking was, let's play with that relationship. So yeah, we want to put more copper winds on there, but we also want to increase the magnetic response. If we play with that and we actually get more magnetic response, we can creep that up and we'll get no tone darkening, we'll get more volume and more output, but without that sort of adverse effect. So I wanted to play with the magnets a little bit. Now there are lots of people out there who offer pickups actually with bigger magnets. Seymour Duncan in the bass world, they've got their quarter pounders, much bigger magnets. It's not quite where I wanted to go with the ID Evos. I wanted to get more magnetic response, and I worked out the percentage. Now it defeats me now remembering it, but there was a certain percentage. I wanted to take a Strat from being around 6k to, let's say, 7.8k in the bridge, which would be a traditional Les Paul output, and 7.3 in the neck. So I wanted to play with just a bit more magnetism. I don't need that much more, just a bit more, and I'm going to get there. So instead of using 5mm diameter magnets, we actually elected to use 5.25. It would keep the Strat aesthetic, which we love. It wouldn't look ridiculously different. In fact, on first inspection, you probably wouldn't notice that the magnets were of a bigger diameter. So we got the bit more magnetic response that we were needing, and that meant that we could actually increase the copper winds, but no tone darkening. That was the thinking behind the set. It was a set of pickups that started on paper, basically. And you design it. We even creeped up the magnet height a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit, hoping to get a bit more magnetism in there. Once we got the design on paper, we had the theory that this would be a great sounding pickup. And this is one of the things I love about being a pickup maker, is that moment when you plug in a pickup you've designed for the first time, and just before you actually acknowledge to yourself, I've designed this with every theory in mind and everything I know, everything I've gleaned about pickup making over the years, But in reality, I don't actually know what it sounds like. I think it'll sound like this, but I don't know yet. And that's that really exciting moment. You plug in, and it actually sounds like this. So that is what happened. It was quite surprising. Everything in my mind said, this will sound like a P90. Did it sound like a P90? No, it didn't. And at first I was a little bit disappointed. I thought it was going to sound like a P90. It just sounds like a louder Strat pickup. What's the use in that? I've set out to solve one problem, and maybe I've actually solved another one. I haven't delivered a P90 sounding pickup. I've just delivered a louder sounding Strat. But for somebody on stage who's going from, say, a Les Paul to a Strat, and they don't want to go from a Les Paul to, another Gibson sounding guitar, they want to go from a Gibson sounding guitar to a Fender sounding guitar, without that sort of volume drop. Les Paul to Strat, there's a volume drop, and vice versa. We can go in the other way, there's a volume jump. So we've got a louder Strat pickup. It still has the Stratiness, and it actually pushes the amp a little bit sooner into overdrive. So there's actually, I think, quite a lot to like there. I kind of solved, well, maybe a problem that didn't exist, but in my mind, for a Strat player going between a Les Paul and a Strat on stage, this could actually be a bit of a winner. So that was kind of the set. Maybe it's not been a hit because we actually solved a problem that didn't exist. Or maybe just not enough people know about this set yet. I'm hoping this video possibly could change that a little bit. So yeah, I think the ID Evolution Strat set is one of the most underrated pickup sets that we do. We're going to actually put this up at the end of the video. We're going to put it up against a Les Paul. I say it's a Les Paul. It's actually a De Armand M75, a Les Paul-like instrument with a set of our Radio Shop PAF pickups. So very vintage output, very typical sort of Les Paul-y type sound. So we're going to hear some clips back and forth between those two. And the guitar you're going to hear is a beautiful Strat that was made for us by RF Custom Guitars here in the UK. They make fantastic guitars, so big shout out to them. It's actually a 2-pickup guitar because I had Mustang pickups in there, but it shows off things nicely. The bridge there is 7.8K, very Les Paul type output. The neck is 7.3K, and obviously if it had a middle, it would be well balanced across those two, and is also at 7.3K. It's a lovely guitar. Let's see how it copes going back and forth between these two guitars. In this video, I've not tweaked the volume on the input at all. If one sounds slightly louder than the other, then it is slightly louder than the other. I thought it was important in this video because the whole purpose is that you don't have these volume jumps. Let me know what you think about the set. Do you think I've solved a problem that doesn't exist? Do you like the idea of going from a Strat to a Les Paul without the volume differences? Thank you for watching this video. I'd love to hear what you think of the ID Evos, and why hasn't it been a big hit for us? Is it a set that tickles your fancy? Maybe it isn't. If you enjoyed watching this video, guys, would love it if you hit subscribe and ring the bell to see notifications of any future videos. The next video is going to be on our Domino J Masterbucker, which is coming very soon. And again, this one is very indicative of, again, that magical moment. Just before you plug it in, you've designed it on paper, you've got a theory about how it sounds, but you don't know what it sounds like yet. It's a very, well, I think quite exciting pickup. It's a split coil design, which is very Leo inspired, just like his concept for the P bass, and also the Comanche from G&L, that Z coil thing. You've got that double coil going on for humbucking Jazzmaster, which sounds like a Jazzmaster, but it's a little bit thicker and it's hum cancelling. Really excited about it. Again, have we solved a problem that doesn't exist? Would love to know what you think about that set, which is coming very soon. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video, guys.